I'm Dr. Strong, and I'm here to read to you from the book Ukraine in History. In 1928, Stalin introduces a program of agricultural collectivization that forces peasants and farmers to give up their land and livestock and join state-owned factory-like collective farms. Stalin decides that collective farms would not only feed the industrialized workers in the cities, but would also provide a large amount of grain to be sold to other countries. The money he would get with the grain sales would help him with his industrialized plan.
There was a group of Ukraine farmers called the kulaks, however, that did not want to give in to the demands of the Russian, and burnt all their crops and killed all their livestock. In 1929, a policy of enforcement is applied, and using regular troops and secret police, many Ukraine peasants and farmers known for their independence still refused to join the collective farms. Stalin decided to liquidate them as a class and accused the Ukrainians of bourgeois nationalism. In 1930, hundreds of thousands are exported, dragged from their homes, packed into freight trains, and shipped to Siberia, where they were left often without food and shelter. In the end, over 1 million Ukrainian peasants are seized, and more than 850,000 deported to frozen tundras of Siberia, where many perished. In 1932 to 1933, the Soviet government increased Ukraine's production quotas by 44%, ensuring that they cannot be met. Starvation becomes widespread. Secret decrees are implemented that allow arrest or execution of any starving peasant found taking as little as a few stalks of wheat or a potato from the fields he worked. By decree, discriminatory voucher systems are implemented, and military blockades are erected around Ukraine villages, preventing the transport of food into villages and the hungry leaving in search for food. Brigades of young activists from other Soviet regions are brought in to confiscate hidden grain and eventually old food stocks from the peasants' homes. Stalin states of Ukraine that the national question is in essence a world question, and he and his henchmen determined to teach a lesson through famine and ultimately to deal a crushing blow to the backbone of Ukraine and its rural population. In 1933, Ukrainians are dying at the rate of 25,000 a day, and more than half of them were children. In the end, up to 10 million starved to death. Stalin denies to the world that there is any famine in Ukraine and prevents international aid from entering the country. Any report of a famine in Russia today is an exaggeration or malignant propaganda. There is no actual starvation or deaths from starvation, but there is widespread mortality from disease due to malnutrition. This was reported by the New York Times correspondent and Pulitzer Prize winner Walter Duranty. This shows how Stalin controlled the world's view on the Ukraine famine. Denial of the famine by Soviet authorities was echoed at the time of the famine by some prominent Western journalists, like Walter Duranty. It was the official policy of the Soviet Union to deny the existence of a famine and thus to refuse any outside assistance. Anyone claiming that there was in fact a famine was accused of spreading anti-Soviet propaganda. The famine finally ended because the Ukrainians accepted the collectivization and eventually gained control of their own land again.